Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be explaining a real paranormal incident in detail that occurred with the Smurl family. So let's start. Our story begins in 1973 when the Smurl family moved into a duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Having lost their original home to flooding during the previous year's Hurricane Agnes, Jack and Janet Smurl were looking forward to a fresh start for themselves, their daughters, and Jack's parents. As they began renovating their new place on Chase Street, Jack poured all of his savings into the project, though the family barely had any time to settle into their new life before they knew they weren't welcomed in their duplex. It all began with tools disappearing and odd electrical mishaps, but the activity soon escalated into unexplainable noises and sudden odors of sulfur and rotting flesh. They also mentioned occasional shadowy figure floating through the hallways, but it wasn't long before they were all convinced that they weren't alone in the house. At first, the home seemed to be a good move for the family. Jack was promoted at work, the kids were excelling in school, the in-laws were happy. But that didn't last long. Unfortunately, this was only the beginning of a lengthy ordeal, as the paranormal activity became more frequent and even more aggressive as the years went by. What began as a spooky activity slowly progressed into horrific acts of violence. From one of the Smurl's daughters being pushed down of the stairs to Jack's mother suffering a heart attack, who had no medical issues in the past, and the family dog being thrown against a wall, the attacks only got worse when Janet gave birth to twins. Desperate for answers, the Smurls repeatedly contacted the Catholic Church. However, while a series of priests visited the house and performed a deluge of blessings, nothing seemed to get rid of the evil forces, making the hauntings more worse. Meanwhile, locals began to resent all of the negative attention, with the family soon getting harassed by neighbors who accused them of being money grabbers despite the fact that the Smurls never profited off the hauntings. Some of these confrontations even became violent, with strangers going so far as to throw bricks at the house in order to scare the family away. Terrified, the Smurls contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, as they were the only ones capable of putting a definitive stop to their horror activities. The first thing that stood out to the ghost-busting couple was the fact that the Smurls hadn't actually done anything to open a doorway for these entities, with Ed Warren explaining that the family was simply one of the chosen. Later, the Warrens identified 4 distinct entities that shared the house with the family. 3 of these were human spirits, and the last one was a purely demonic force that fed on its victims' fear. Over the course of several months, Ed and Lorraine accumulated several hours' worth of audio recordings, containing noise that they claimed was caused by the demon succubus. The spirits weren't going to relieve their hold on the Smurls so easily, so the Warrens allegedly experienced frequent poltergeist activity, temperature drops, and even shadowy apparitions as they played Gregorian chants and prayed for the family's safety. At one point, Ed claims to have found a message scrawled onto a mirror, with the demon ominously demanding that he and Lorraine get out. While the Warrens never reached a definitive conclusion with their investigation, which is why this is still known as the once case they never really solved. The Smurls claimed that another round of blessings and prayers eventually returned their lives to normal, but in total, the Smurl family had to suffer 15 years of the paranormal activities from 1973 to 1987 in their duplex. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more such content. See you guys on the next one and have a great day ahead.